There's a huge split in reality. There's a huge split in reality right now, and most people can't see it, and it's okay. You won't see it for a little while. I'm going to explain to you what it looks like right now, what it's going to look like. How is this going to show up on the external world, in the external world? But really importantly, there's a lot of psychic attack going on. There's a lot of AI interference going on. There's a lot of dark entity interference stuff going on. This is part of the big showdown. Why is this happening? Because the collective, not the collective of light workers, the collective consciousness of humanity is on the rise. I'm stopping here because I wish that I could just leave that piece of information with you and you would understand the reverberant implication of it. You see, in the false matrix, that was impossible. In the false matrix, the collective of humanity were so busy being shaped by their reality. In other words, reality was creating them essentially. The external world was creating the human being. Now, it's the other way around. The roles have flipped. That means, okay, this is me interrupting myself, you guys. I'm busy editing and I just heard myself say, which is correct, that the external world used to create humanity. Now humanity is going to get the opportunity to create the external world. But what does that look like? I'd love to give you an example. So excuse my little interruption, but I'm interrupting myself, so I think it's okay. The external world, let's just say that there was a political event or a war going on or a famine going on or something happening externally that would make the individual respond and feel a certain way. The way that reality creation is organically, naturally meant to work, remember we lived in the false matrix, the way it's meant to work is that the human being creates the reality. We had it set up so that reality was permanently creating the individual. So we were in survival mode, for example, because the external reality said, I have to have this job that I hate or this life that I'm not happy in. I don't have a choice. This is my terrible circumstances. So we became the slave to the external world instead of the master of our internal world. There you go. Okay, now we can carry on. The collective is beginning to restore themselves back to their rightful role as the creator. Does this mean we're going to have instant peace and happiness and tra-la-la? No, it means we're on the road though. It means the collective is, the light workers have been on the road for a long time. That was never an issue. The collective is unknowingly, imagine that, raising their consciousness. They didn't mean to, they didn't aim to. This is part of an organic ripple effect, an organic, in other words, a natural overflow of the light worker populace seeping into the collective. So now we have the collective facing a whole lot of darkness because boy, oh boy, it is rampant out there. Absolutely rampant at every conceivable level. AI interference and psychic attacks and people having very weird, icky dreams and people interfering with others. What do demons do? Demons want to control. They have no respect for another person's space. They have no respect for another person's sovereignty. They have no respect for another person's path. They feel that they're entitled to direct you. That's really what a demon will do or an entity will do. I'm not saying this to make you scared. I'm just helping you to understand, okay, this is the nature of darkness. We were controlled by darkness. We were controlled by a reality that felt nothing to tell you what to do. And as a result of that, so many human beings picked up this behavior. It was normalized. So we began telling others and correcting others. You mustn't say this, you must say that, and don't do this, do that. And I need you to be more like this and less like that. And some light workers were doing this. Some people who had spiritual awakenings, sorry to tell you, actually had ego awakenings, because what they started doing was they started interfering with human beings' free will, tampering with humanity's free will and saying, I'm going to raise the collective. I'm going to insert my energy into your world. I'm going to heal you. Or it could never work that way. Beings of true higher consciousness, God, the galactics, 5D, anything that is 5D and beyond will not impede your freedom. That's a universal law. There will be no harm, no impeding of another person's free will or another person's freedom. Universal law is incredibly simple. Man-made law, of course, is incredibly complex. But what we've got right now are a whole lot of people who were really entitled. They felt that they had the right at the spiritual level, at the governmental, corporate, societal level to tell other people what to do. The turn is subtle. But the turn is where we've got human beings going, you know what, I'm just too tired to focus on everything else and everyone else. I'm just going to be with me. I'm just going to stop listening to the bombardment. And I actually really just want to be still. Not even knowing that that was the beginning of raising their frequency. And the moment they did that, darkness came out onto the attack. But the attack right now is very covert, very not in your face. That's what I'm talking about, a big split in reality. I'm talking about these almost two factions showing up right now. Dark and light. Remember that ultimately true healing is about the merging, the bringing back together, because that's the truth of who we are. We're one whole thing, one whole unit comprised of dark and light. But we've got a whole lot of light workers pretending that darkness was the worst, most evil thing and it needed to be banished. And then we had darkness pretty much doing the same, but also riding off of light because they needed to fuel off of and feed off of the energy of beings of consciousness, because they, beings of darkness, had lost their power to self-source and their power to create. So what's taking place right now is as the collective raises consciousness, darkness rears up and says, whoa, you are threatening my food supply because you, the collective of humanity, not the light workers, you guys. The collective of humanity is where most of the fueling and feeding was being drawn from the level of entities and from the level of darkness. They were feeding on those human beings who were the most exhausted, who were the most stuck, who were the most depleted and the most drained. Why? Because that's an easy fuel source. When a light worker shifts into too high a bandwidth of light, darkness begins to run from them. Darkness doesn't want to feed off of that energy. That's going to give them indigestion. They don't want to come near. In fact, they're going to run away because that much light is going to begin to ripple into darkness. They don't want that. They want to feed off somebody who's just a little bit conscious, like they've got a little trickle of conscious energy, which every human being does, and a whole lot of pain, misery, and unconsciousness. That's like the perfect cocktail that darkness, entities, etc. can feed off of. When I've done videos like this in the past, I'm often surprised at a question, but let me answer the question in case it comes up again. The question people often ask when I talk about darkness is, what is that? What is darkness? Darkness is the opposite of light. What is light? Light is freedom and it's love and it's ease and it's flow and it's harmony. What is darkness? Darkness is density and it's pain and it's struggle and it's suffering and it's hardship. There are beings of darkness who we call entities or demons or some kind of interfering energy. We can even interfere with other people as a human being. You've had it done in your life when somebody's come to you and said, for your own good, I'm going to tell you who to be, what to do, etc. So we've all had that horrible interference that other people feel entitled to impose into our lives. Anytime you're imposing into another person's space, you're imposing into another person's sovereignty. You are in effect breaking universal law when you do that. The way that you bring that back into alignment and into amendment is to come into your reality more fully. Light workers, you got to lead this one now. Humanity at the collective level is beginning to step into this. And the light workers are beginning to amplify this more and more. Have you felt it? Because I certainly have. In my online community, I can absolutely see. And we're a very big group of people. A huge portion of the collective, of the collective of light workers, that is holding light at this level of, actually, my healing is all about me. Actually, my life is, in fact, about me. We were told when we were little, if your life was anything like mine, Carrie, the world doesn't revolve around you. And now as adults, it's actually something we need to contend with. My world does revolve around me. And when I make it so, I actually step into a responsibility for my world, and I begin to embody myself in my reality, because we were highly disconnected and disembodied in the false matrix. So we begin this shift that has already rippled into the collective. We're just being asked to amplify it, to up our game, so to speak. And don't worry, it's not all resting on you. There are so many people who've got this. If you add to it, it's only going to be a bonus. And what I'm talking about is that real immersion into my world, my reality, my frequency, my energy. This is it. This is what healing is. Healing is not about healing others. The moment you are trying to fix another, heal another, change another, the moment you're trying to change a reality, you don't know it, but you're actually feeding darkness. Because that's what darkness does, even if your intentions are beautiful. This is a realization that all beings, light workers, collective, etc., this is what every single human being is going to have to learn, and they are beginning. So remember, it doesn't mean, okay, everything's going to be perfect overnight. It simply means, wow, we're on the right track now. Remember at the beginning, I said, let's talk about what it looks like now. It's when I say to you, there's this big split in reality, you imagine that you're going to see something externally. No. Right now, the huge split in reality is very, very internal. And what it looks like is a lot of darkness trying to feed. So that means that they become very noticeable and their presence becomes very overt and less covert. And a rising of light, a rising of individual consciousness, where in the individual there's this organic flow that says, actually, I really just want to be with me, focus on me. Actually, the spiritual journey is an inner journey. It's got nothing to do with anybody else. The rest of the world can be wherever they are. I only have to heal me. I only have to focus on me. When that comes into alignment, oh, good Lord, that's when you become the ripple. You become the ripple because you're embodying your world. So that's what the big split in reality looks like right now. It's all behind the scenes. It's all energetic. What it's going to look like 3 months, 6 months. I don't want to make a prediction of time. I'm very wary of doing this. Let's just say down the line. What it's going to look like down the line is this that we're doing behind the scenes energetically will become manifest. Because remember, everything happens energetically first. And once it has worked itself through at the energetic level, then it becomes physically manifest. So this split in reality that's taking place inside of us is going to take place externally. I don't know what it's going to look like. Probably some kind of upheaval on the ground level. But whatever it looks like, what is the light of humanity going to look like at the same time? We're going to see both of the factions that we're energetically working with right now. Remember, darkness rising, light rising, essentially. We're going to see those two energetic currents become manifest. So what it's going to look like is human beings, the average so-called, not that there's any such thing as an average human being. Every human being is so extraordinary. They just don't know it. They've just been mind numbed and misled into survival mode and thinking that my life is average and I'm just an ordinary person. There truly is no such thing. Everybody holds an exceptional God spark within them, a creative spark that is able to manifest abundance and joy and miracles. It's all just beginning to come online. Will it take months? Definitely. Will it take years? Maybe. It really depends. It depends on two factions, the light workers and how high they go because they set the bar, and then the collective and how much they absorb the ripple of the light workers. But as this occurs, as this energy work takes place at the level of the collective, it's taking place inside of you, and that's the only place you have power and the only place you need to work. But be here consciously, be connected to your world, be connected to your energy. Stop feeding darkness by focusing on where somebody else is. It should eventually become irrelevant when you become the center of your reality. Then you're powerful again. That's got nothing to do with being selfish. We were just misled into thinking that's what selfish people did, because of course the false matrix couldn't have a group of people getting powerful. Powerful people embody their life. They step into the center of their world. Then they can truly become the ripple that reaches humanity. You don't reach anyone, you don't change anyone until you've changed yourself and become the ripple of the change. Everything that you want to instill in people out there, you only have to be. This massive turning point for humanity, I wonder what it's going to look like at the physical level. I've got an inkling. No, let's put it this way. One way that it could, please listen, I'm not making a prediction. One way that it could play out is we could have the darkness, which is those who hold nefarious intent and still want to hold humanity back and still want to control humanity. We could have some kind of fake fear event. Like when I say a fake fear event, it could be like an imposed event, maybe a war that we've been manipulated into, or something at the ground level. It could even be the taking away of human beings' sovereignty and rights, which happened, if you remember correctly, right about 2020. We could see something taking place at the ground level, but you're going to see humanity handle it totally differently this time. You're going to see humanity go, stabilizing into their light, not resisting against, not pushing against, just really centering into themselves. That's the ultimate turning point. I still see it today. I still see people in the spiritual community today wanting to interfere with other people, imagining that they have the right to do that. Imagining that they have the right to either change somebody else or fix something in their reality. Those people are only contributing to darkness. So contribute to light by really anchoring into wherever you are. Be there powerfully, fully, and authentically. That's how you radiate. That's how you ripple. That's how you become a part of this group of pioneers that is laying the foundation for a completely new 5D reality. That's what we're stepping into. Let me know in the comments below if you have felt a little bit attacked, or if you have felt this elevation that's coming in. Can you see it in the collective? It's not quite visible at the physical level yet, but for those of you who are energy workers, can you feel it there? Can you feel how the collective is lifting and elevating? It's a very, very interesting thing. That used to be a very destructive place. And it was wired to always be in a constant devolution, constantly being drained, constantly. Well, this is one of the first times that I'm noticing it being replenished. I'm noticing elevation happening. Please understand they're going to make wrong moves, you guys. Please understand that the collective, just like the light workers still are trying to get their together, the collective is going to do exactly the same. So they're going to wobble and bobble and go off track, and they've got this newfound creative power that they don't even know consciously that they've got. This doesn't mean that they're going to suddenly understand spirituality, because so many light workers imagine that you need to understand spirituality in your head to enact it in your heart. You don't. You don't even know how to, you don't need to know how to spell the word spiritual to be spiritual. To be spiritual is to be connected to your spirit, which is connected to your life force, connected inwardly. That's what spirituality is. We've been externally focused and externally connected, right, you guys? Lots of love. I can't wait to speak to you again really soon and bring you the next energy update when there's another really cool one that's brewing. We got a lot to talk about, so make sure that you have subscribed to the channel. Make sure that you've put a little like and maybe even a little comment in the comment section below. From my heart, all the way to yours. So much love.